So what's up?
We're live now. We are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. Let me get this background off of here. Just playing around. As you see, we are using a new service here called Zoom. Hey, Val. Look at her. Check out her background, Herman.
Yeah, I saw that before.
Yeah, Val's life right there. She even knows how to pose for it now. Anyway, what's up, Plummet FPV? And thank you so much for coming in earlier and helping us. You helped us and didn't know you was helping us. But Val, as people come in, what I'm going to do is Billy Kyle's going to come on at 6 o'clock. There's only going to be a select few that will be able to hang out on the panel when Billy Kyle comes in. But he's not coming in until about 6 p.m. supposedly. Anyway, what's up? What's going on, Herman? And Plummet FPV, thank you for the first one here. What happened?
I'm good. I'm just still a little tired from this weekend.
Yeah. We're going to get a chance to talk about this weekend. Val, can you say something so I can know we have audio on you?
Do you have audio on me?
Yes, we do. Thank you. You can go back to munching. What's up, Al Diaz? How do you like our new setup here on Zoom? You guys are the early birds. I need to set this so I can see what numbers, how many people are watching and how many are in the chat room. But Val, thank you once again, you, Roger, and the comedic sidekick, Paul, for helping me out earlier set this up. And
where is Paul?
He'll be along shortly, I'm sure. Thanks, man, because this will be a lot cleaner for everyone. The audio will be a lot cleaner. And for those of you who don't know, and you have friends that are broadcasting on YouTube, let them know if they're using Hangouts. YouTube is about to get rid of Hangouts. So they better find another way to live stream.
Mm-hmm.
This service here is Zoom, ZOOM, and for $15 a month, you can stream as clean as this. Even Canadian Drone Hub is using it, and he helped me set everything up here.
That was funny.
And he's not even a tech person. So and I've been in computers over 30 years. So for a non-tech person to teach a tech how to do something was impressive, because Roger hates technology. He just deals with it, you know. Val, thank you so much. That's so appreciated, Val. I really appreciate that, Val. So,
you're welcome.
And I especially like to thank you and Kurt and everybody. Oh shoot, I forgot to send Kurt an invite too.
Wow.
Let me send him. I gotta send Kurt an invite. So if you guys want to talk about something while I'm doing that.
So Val.
Yes.
What are you doing over there?
What?
What are you doing over there?
Eating peanuts.
Eating peanuts. Well, all I see.
Oh my God, you can't see it.
I keep seeing you holding up a Phantom 3.
Right. It looked like you were holding the Phantom 3 for a microsecond. Oh, Kirkland. You know, I have a big thing of let me run and show you real quick what I got.
Oh,
okay.
So now you guys shop at what, Costco's? You get Kirkland.
Mm-hmm.
But you never heard of BJ's.
There you go.
I've heard of BJ's, but I don't do that.
Here you go, Val.
Let me see what you got. Oh, nice.
These are my favorite. When my wife gets me mad, I eat extra. I just play it.
Yeah. I only do Costco.
Sup, guys?
What's up?
Hey, Curtis.
I got to get out my old man glasses.
I had to beg them to let you on today.
Wow, listen to this.
Beg them.
Wow, just throw us under the bus, why don't you? No, that was my fault, Kurt, because I had sent out to everyone, and I was like, oh shit, I forgot about Kurt. You listen to Val. She's
You know
getting
what Val was doing? She
She's
threw
getting a
people under
peanut.
the bus and was driving it at the same time.
What's going on, Kurt?
Not
How are
much,
you?
brother. Not much.
Oh my
Listen,
God.
I appreciate
see
you,
it,
Kurt,
huh?
for bringing Zoom to us here.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all.
Seriously. I just wanted to let you know at 6 p.m. Billy Kyle's supposed to be coming on.
PJ.
I don't expect the panel to get too big, but I also don't want Billy Kyle sitting on here and listening to everyone talk about random
Zoom.
stuff.
Yeah.
But if you have Q&A, you have questions you want to ask him, this would be a great time to do it. Jay Santiago, what's up? Mr. Crowley and his
Hey, Mr.
drone,
Crowley.
Jeff Freeman. You guys go and let your friends know later at 6 p.m. in an hour, a little less than an hour, actually 53 minutes. Billy Kyle should be popping in. He's a good friend of ours. We got to meet him going down to Philadelphia. Despite what you see on videos and what you hear about him, he's actually a great character. He's really good people.
Mm-mm.
You know? And he's already been on Herman's stream, but what's going on on the West Coast, Kurt?
Absolutely nothing right now because you guys, I don't think you're streaming.
What happened?
I don't think so either.
Yeah, you're not streaming.
We're
Yeah,
not
we are.
streaming. I have 8 people watching now.
Yeah.
I got 4 waiting. I got nothing.
That's strange because I can see myself on the screen. I see
We have
all of
9
us.
people.
Yes, I'm streaming. I'm definitely streaming. Al Diaz, thank you so much, man, from the heart. It's Phantom Flights 101. Herman will be the next one up on Zoom. I can.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
Mike Roche.
Yes. Sweet.
You know what it is? I scheduled it. I did the old way. I scheduled it through Hangouts. And everyone's probably clicked on that link.
So that's where I was. I was on the old link that's still waiting. You might want to delete that.
I need to seriously go and erase that. Herman, you want to talk about anything while I do that? I need to rectify.
Well, I don't have the chat moving because I don't show it streaming.
You're on the other
show.
You're on the wrong show.
You're in the wrong stream.
So I'll help you. Al Diaz, thank you for that super chat. That was so very
Al Diaz, thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it.
Santiago, oh my God.
I'm actually going to live events now and deleting that event because people are looking for it. It says live now. I have 10 people in the room.
Yeah, you do.
I don't understand that.
Jerry
Under
Freeman?
live events.
Is that right?
Post number 17. All right. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. I guess everyone they'll figure it out eventually. But I will never do that again and schedule it. Are you in the right one now, Herman and Kurt?
I'm in the right one. Yes.
Okay, Herman, are you?
Give me a second now.
I appreciate these super chats. Actually, those guys appreciates this super chat because those guys are funded by those guys. So every little bit helps. And trust me, it is going back into those guys because we'll be paying this $15 a month, you know, so it is highly appreciated. And right now my focus is to get Herman monetized. But I like the way the windows pop up on it. I'm very happy with audio. We did a quick test earlier. Like I said, Kurt, Roger walked me through it.
I know. I am so proud.
I wish I would have recorded that, man, because Roger was like, so you go here and you see those dots right there and you click. I was like, yo,
I was going to help him, but Roger like, no, I got this.
Yeah.
I'm like, Roger.
Hey, Jerry Freeman, if I didn't say hello, Mike Roche, plummet you guys, enjoying your day off.
Mike
Roach in the house.
But as far as drone news, I only have a few things to talk about. We will definitely talk on using the Zoom and other features, but I guess that can be done at another time. You
Mhm.
guys know that the United States was
Thank you, Altias.
the United States has decided to stop using U.S. DJI drones because of the information sharing. Well, DJI has an answer to that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, and DJI's answer to it is that they are coming up with a government edition drone. Now, these drones will only be operated by the government, and the firmware on them will only allow the government to know its locations, and I'm sure somewhere on a DJI server too. But they claim that with concerns raised over DJI's data security practices and the threat of a ban on the use of DJI products in the United States, the manufacturers of North American operations has said the time is right to come out with something like this. So now they will literally be separating themselves from the rest of the drone community. Hey, Eddie Nunez, what's up? I think that's pretty
Eddie.
good because then that'll leave us as hobbyists and professionals alone,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe the government will lower or release some of the sanctions that they have on China. They're saying 90% of the drones that cost $500 or more are coming from Shenzhen, China, either from DJI or drone companies, just like we have Silicon Valley in California. Well, the Shenzhen, China is the drone valley over there. You have maybe 15 drone companies over there. What the hell was that? Val? Val looked like she ate the canary.
No, my roommate just got in. My dogs went nuts.
So if I can add a little something here to your story, the problem here is not that it's being manufactured in the United States. That's a Band-Aid on a big problem. The problem is in the firmware. So
Right.
you can manufacture it in the United States, but the thing is, DJI has already created the firmware that sends all the information. How much information is risky? How much do they see me fly around my house? Big deal.
Right.
That's kind of another question. But the situation here is they're already sending it back. So how hard is it for them to turn it back on? Just because you manufacture here in the United States is not, that's a Band-Aid on a bigger.
Well, that's another story in itself also, because I did hear also that DJI is going to start building a plant here in the United States. Their concern is if the United States puts a damper on sales to the military, DJI is going to take a big hit, because I
Right.
know people who are airplane pilots and a few people that are in the military that get these DJI drones in China. We know one, he's not military, but in one of our NYC 5 borough drone meetup groups, there's a guy named Ben. He's a great guy. He has family or relatives in China. All of his drones have Chinese writing on the inside of them.
So the thing with the Chinese law, to start a business, you have to have the government has to have access to data, any sort of data that you create, and generally it's data, like sales data and stuff like that, versus the rest of the world, because they want to be the leader as far as sales, period. But with this additional data that is being generated by DJI, they're kind of really looking at that, also going, hey, you know what? We can get a lot of other information out of America at this particular, or America, the UK, EU, everybody.
Right.
So the way that I see it, until they come to the United States and they get out from under the thumb of China, the government of China, they're still obligated to turn any information over to the government of China. And these are the laws there. So, you can build 60% of it here and kind of pretend to, hire some American workers to assemble the drones that are still the parts are still manufactured there. But the bottom line is the software is made in China and it's under China rule. They would really need to move their operations here to the United States or the UK or the EU or Australia or Canada or something like that to get out from under that. That's really the only way that they can do that.
Well, and then a lot of their profits would be down because it's more expensive to build here.
Well, yes and no, the profit would be down, because then by having a plant here and being established here in the United States, pretty much they cut down on customs, the money that they spend putting their stuff through on these cargo ships, the taxes that they pay, that would be eliminated. But I would see that as a boost to their business. Really.
I agree. Copyright rules alone. So they had some problems with people that were manufacturing the parts. Remember, they got all that.
Mm-hmm.
They had all the stuff that was stolen and sent out, and all that other stuff that was kind of going on a few months ago. If they were to produce products here, they would be under the protection of copyright rules here in the United States. I'm sorry, not copyright, patent rules here in the United States. So, and they wouldn't have to deal with tariffs and all that stuff. They would, they became an American company. I think their costs would kind of go down.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. But
Right.
My friends would
Well,
not
let me say the cost of producing the product. I'm not saying they're going to drop the price. I think in the end, the cost of and the margin would be better for them if they were to produce it here.
I don't think so.
They
Why?
also have a tendency to bring their own workforce when they operate in America here as well. So that would also, I don't know how that would help them or how that would hurt them.
They've done that in the past in the automobile industry, and they've quickly discovered that that does not work.
Mm-mm.
I was thinking about that, and I was actually thinking that if they did bring their own workforce, eventually at some time and point, that workforce would want to go to hell back home.
We just bring someone else.
It's just like what I used to do. I used to open up retail stores like Bed Bath and Beyond, Michael's. What I would do is I would go in as a receiver. The store would be empty. They would be building the shelves, putting in plumbing, etc. And then I would be in the back of the building receiving millions of dollars in merchandise. Okay. And at the same time, teaching someone who's going to work in that store how to receive the product and get it out on the floor and etc. All right. And basically, if they were to do something like that here in the States by bringing a company in, of course, they're going to bring their people in, but their people get paid to do this and go on to another spot. Because if they do it here in the United States and it's a success, they can do it in Russia. They could do it in, do you know what shipping would be if they had a DJI in Australia?
Okay.
People right now in Australia can't get batteries shipped.
So here's the deal. There's a reason why we build overseas, even our own corporations. There's a reason.
It's cheaper.
Because it is less expensive, less regulation, and at the end of the day, they make a higher profit. I'm not saying they can't make a profit by building here. What I'm saying is they like the bigger profit.
That's understandable. Anyone likes a bigger profit, but sometimes as a business, DJI has been doing this for a while now. And I'm quite sure they're willing to lose in one area because they'll be gaining in another. It's always
I wish
give and
they would
take.
do that.
I think the majority of their sales is in North America.
At the risk of sounding political, the political things are changing here in the United States. So it's going to cost companies more now to go to China and produce product. I don't want to go into a political discussion, but because that's right where this is going to go. But all you have to do is watch some of the news stories about what's going on right now and the way our leadership is changing things. It is not going to be a situation to where you can now go to China and because labor is cheaper there, you're going to pay for it in the end with tariff taxes and import taxes and everything else. So it's not going to be what it used to be. Yes, it was cheaper to produce there because the labor force is a lot cheaper, but that work is going to be coming to the United States.
Right now, the United States,
I would hope so.
From this political thing, but right now, the United States is biting itself in the foot. 65% of American cars are built in overseas.
Right.
That's all I'm going to say. So now you're taxing them. You're taxing them for sending their stuff over here. So what do you think they're going to do to us?
They'll raise the prices on everything.
What's going on, Justin? How are you, man?
What's up, Justin?
I'm good.
Hey,
Welcome
so
to.
if I could have my way, I would have them bring back production. Let's get people working again. Let's go into Detroit. Let's get those places open because we have devastation through our automobile belt and through other things. So I prefer them to build here. But as long as that profit margin is higher they're not coming here.
Well,
So the tariffs,
gonna-
as much as I hate paying more money,
I'm going to make
I'll
this
just pass it
statement.
to the consumer.
I'm going to make this statement, and then we'll get back to drone talk and stuff like that. But it sounds good on paper, Val, but the problem with Americans are they're too busy trying to keep every dollar for themselves, and someone will get shitted on in the long run.
everybody
Can I
does
say
it.
something about
Not
this?
just us.
Can I say something about this? There has never been a company that cared about those tariffs and those issues. They only pass those things on to the consumer. DJI is doing this to get back in the good graces with the American government, and that's the only reason why this is happening. I don't understand why no one can really see this. It's the proof is right there. They've had problems they're having more problems come up now. There's more talks about them and what they're doing and the things that they're doing that none of the consumers know or really know what's going on with that. So all it is, they've been banned from military. So now what is it? They're trying to come out now with the same drone with different firmware in it so the military can have it for themselves. They're trying to get back in good graces. This is the only reason why they came up with this thing. Talking about in the next year, all of their drones are going to have this thing where they can find out where you'll be able to see in real time where planes are and helicopters. Is to get back into good graces. It's not even something that's being asked for by drone manufacturers right now, but they're already back in the good graces with America.
Yeah, I don't care how they do it, as long as they do it.
Right, but most of their drones are sold right in North America.
Right.
True.
I agree.
True. That is true. And to be honest, they all need to sit down and smoke a doobie and talk shit over and get it out of the way.
That might help.
You know,
Or a little cognac.
it sounds kind of far-fetched, and right now, to be honest, that seems to be the only thing that can be done. But welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. I appreciate you, Kurt, Justin, Val, and Herman for being on. We're going to let you guys know how our experience was. We got more than a little 26 minutes, 36 minutes. Let you guys know how our trip was to the Atlantic City Drone Expo.
You know what? If you hadn't slept through half of it, you'd have more to tell us.
Val, cut it out.
That's what Herman said. I didn't say it. Herman said it.
It's really sad what happened. It's really sad.
Yo, Justin, you know this brother tried to sleep with me at 9 o'clock. He wanted to sleep with
Cut it out. Stop it. Stop it.
Val has her own bus and he's just driving over everybody.
Herman's experiencing technical difficulties. He'll be back unmuted soon. But we were going to sleep at 3-4 o'clock in the morning each morning. And he said, and he told me to my face, he said, as soon as I speak to Val, I'm going to tell her your ass will sleep at 9.
Is it safe for you to say you went to bed at 4 o'clock?
In the morning?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. You got me looking over.
All of a sudden, you're going to see a hand come out and smack him in the back of the head.
No, she's sitting on the couch. She's cool. The expo, yes, the expo, Eddie Nunez was a hit because Herman and I went. Thanks to Billy Kyle, he had forewarned me about a week before the expo, and then a couple of days before the expo, he actually sent me documentation saying that the expo was canceled, but they were still having the drone races. So Herman and I took it as an opportunity to get out there and not only fly the hell out of Atlantic City, but to go check out some drone racing.
Well, what I will say is this. It was strictly drone racing. If you wanted to learn how to fly these things, like they had little whoops out there. They had lessons and teaching guys how to. They had qualifying for these races and everything. But I just didn't like how the convention center handled this event. They refused to tell anyone. I called several times, and they refused to say that it was canceled. The first time when I called to confirm the cancellation, I told them that we had received an email that there was a cancel. They asked me who told me that it was canceled. They told me that the event was still on. I called when I was down there after confirming that it was canceled, and they still insist that it was still going on.
Yep.
and that there was no cancellation. The only thing that was canceled was a trade show that was supposed to be going on. I said, well, what kind of trade show is this? Were the vendors there? They said, well, we don't know what it was, but the expo is still going on. When you get to the convention center, there's a big sign up that tells you it's only about the drone races.
Yep. When you walk in the door, you see what time the drone, they were giving drone racing classes on how to fly tiny whoop and how to fly 5-inch drones. They were giving classes on all of that. And they were also doing time trial preliminaries. Okay. But like Herman said, up until the day before, they were still telling people, yes, we are still having, everything is still good to go. And then when Herman confronted the guy goes, what's your name? You know, like maybe if Herman mentioned her name, he would still act like he didn't know her or whatever. But the way they handled it was really messed up. It just so happened Herman and I took lemons and made lemonade. And if we didn't drink lemonade, we sold it to someone who does. Because we had a good time. We did have a good time.
Yeah, we did that and some exploring around Atlantic City.
You want to call that exploring?
The outlet malls. The zoo that wasn't the zoo. That was just the block in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I heard about the low self-esteem, Herman.
Now, see, Herman did see a few women that looked like their self-esteem was a little low, and he was willing to help rise it. I see you got your Canadian Drone Hub mug.
So something you don't know about this, just to interrupt you for just a second, the more that you drink this, the more you start sounding Canadian, and you start saying things like "a" after you say something. So
oh, that's why when I was drinking about it, I started sounding different.
You put the A on the bottom. It's funny.
A.
Talking Canadian.
I'm now Canadian. A.
Canadian. All right.
Lawrence, the funny thing is that I saw the post on Facebook, and it basically said that due to the overwhelming of the Racing Drone League, the convention is canceled. And that's the only reason I knew.
I think I still have it word for word.
But if you go on their site for the expo
webpage,
they never said that it was canceled. They were still selling tickets.
I have it here word for word. Then now Billy Kyle hey, what's up, Roger? Billy Kyle had said a week before, maybe a week and a half before, are you still going? I heard there was no drone convention. I was like, really? Well, their sites are still saying that they are. Now, this is exactly what it says word for word. And this is up to the day of the convention when it started Thursday. Due to the overwhelming response we have received for both the International Drone Racing League and Drone Expo East, that's where we were supposed to be attending, this June, Drone Expo East will be postponed until 2020.
Yeah, 2020.
While the International Drone Racing League events will continue as planned, all Drone Expo East ticket holders will receive an option to get their money refunded, blah, 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 blah. Now, my point is they had people on the phone buying tickets and everything. And we did see in one NYC 5 Borough Drone Meetup group that a family had went down there, they purchased tickets for the whole drone expo for 4 days, and they were refunded. But in the same sense, there were some other people that went down and they were giving them an issue. So I don't know what was happening or what was going on, but all I can say is Herman and I flew the hell out of Atlantic City. When I say we flew the hell out of it, I was surprised with the footage I got. Hey,
ladies
Paul.
and gentlemen, joining us now, the Ed McMahon of live shows, Mr. Paul Murray.
Hey, Paul.
Now we need the clapping. I need to get a clap track, a sound bite. Now, here's a question for you real quick, Kurt.
Yes,
now,
sir.
If I want to run a soundboard through this, I would run it through OBS, correct?
Yes, you. Well, there's a couple things you could do. You could share the file. For me, the way that I run it right now is well, no, I take that back. If I was going to share something with you guys, I would run it through OBS as a media file. Because right now we're on Zoom and I'm accessing Zoom via my OBS.
Right. Now, see, I figured out how to do that too, because I figured out we could show banners and stuff like that on OBS through OBS, still using Zoom by just switching the camera function where it says stop video. I can go to my OBS and load videos and stuff like that through there as well.
Right.
That's what you're doing right now.
Exactly. So
Okay.
you can put up whatever you want, you know.
Right. And I think OBS would be a great
Oh,
to use along with this specifically for that kind of stuff.
so you would treat OBS as a camera?
Yes.
EBR. Sorry to hear you broke 2 frames.
Eber?
That's not good.
So, Mike Roach, did you say hi to me?
Ooh, EBR. I really want to talk to you because I'm interested in that particular brand of drone. I have not bought one yet, and that's one I'm looking at.
Marmot frame?
Yeah.
Hit him up in the chat. He's been flying them for a minute. He has. Also support each other, please. Please click like, support each other.
Thumbs up.
At 6 p.m., Billy Kyle is supposed to come in, hop in. So, Paul, try to refrain yourself from going squirrel.
So,
EBR FPV. I'm on your channel now. I'll watch it right after the show.
And can we keep the therapy doll taped down to the chair tonight?
yeah, just tape down. Hey, isn't Armaton aren't they the ones that do the lifelong
warranty? Yes.
On their frame. Yeah, so you can bring all you want.
Val sounds like she's learning some FPV talk.
Oh yeah, I pick up things once in a great while, as long as I'm not too caffeinated up, and then I'm not picking up anything.
Hey, drone life.
I'm screaming at the screen, Val. Hey, Val.
The only other drone news that I have is that there is no exact launch time for the Spark 2, and that the Spark 2 will not, and this is according to Drone DJ, where everyone else gets their drone news from, and according to them, it will not have OcuSync 2. It will have a 4K, it should be 4K, I'm looking at the list here, 4K video at 30 frames per second, an increased bit rate because people were complaining that the Spark could only play certain types of videos and formats, an improved 3-axis gimbal, active track 2.0 it will have, and it'll have a 2-time zoom. Now they increased the flight time, I believe, from 13 minutes, 15 minutes of the Spark, from 16 minutes actually to actual 18 minutes. La-di-da.
So they're eliminating the air?
No.
Yeah, because that would be
they might be
just making an air what you're talking about.
Basically, that's what it sounds like. Now, I do know it also says they're gonna have a new battery design because I do found out from the Spark, the batteries were on the bottom, and at one time sparks were dropping out of the sky because when you hard land, the 2 clamps that hold the battery in were actually becoming loose, or one was popping out. So you would take off and the vibration of the props would drop the battery out, and then you just fall out the sky. They fixed that issue by making stronger side clamps for the battery, but they claim they have a new battery design that's not compatible with the old one. The same range, but a new antenna design and a new remote controller with improved tech for better connection. No OcuSync 2.0, however, and it will come in 2 colors, black and white. And the Spark 2, last thing, will offer a panorama mode.
Oh.
So for all you Sparkies out there, they're not saying when it's coming out, but usually around the holidays, they try to sneak something out, no matter what it is.
Now, is that the reason why people are saying that the Air and the Mavic Zoom is going to be gone because of this?
That's a possibility. They think about it. The Air is losing. They're losing sales on the Air, and the other one you mentioned. You know. So, what better way to fill that hole than to come out with a Spark 2?
There's another story. I don't know if Eddie Nunez kind of mentioned it there. You guys are familiar with the fact that the FAA recently passed some new laws that says you can no longer fly within 5 miles of an airport. You used to be you could call the airport and notify them, but you can no longer do that. They want you on the LANC system, the LANNC. And Eddie points out, and correctly that they just updated the FAA website that now Lance for hobbyists is going to go live July 23rd.
You want to know what, Eddie? Thank you so much for that, because to be honest, I was expecting them to come up with an app or something for Lance in a year or two, only because they seem to have been focusing on Lance for the 107 pilot. So to actually see that, that's real helpful, really helpful, and as far as hobbyists go, because hobbyists thought that they were being pooped on.
Well, because it got pushed back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because everyone was waiting for the 107 pilot to be able to be.
Hey, Paul, I saw your fireworks video.
Did you?
Yes, man, very good video.
Kind of a tearjerker there watching that. It's like, whoa. music was an excellent choice.
Well, it's she's French Canadian, so I figured there's a little twist.
Yeah.
Okay. It's French Canadian. That sounds like a
Hey,
smoothie.
Sean. Ooh, Thomas O'Sullivan. Hey,
Tomas, how are you?
Thomas.
Tomas in the house.
Welcome back. All of you guys in here, I appreciate it very, very much for coming to the new way. We're going to be doing things here on Sunday nights with those guys. I almost said use guys.
Who's guys?
We will be transitioning like everyone else, and I want to give credit to the godfather of live streaming, the Canadian Drone Hub, Roger. Now, I mentioned this earlier, but I've been in computers for 30 years plus, so I'd like to call myself a tech person, but a non-techie taught a techie how to use Zoom, and he was quite professional about it too, Kurt.
I know.
Oh, he was like, "Oh no, can you share your screen?" I was like, "Oh shit."
I tell you, it's fantastic.
Yes.
He talked about you to Kim when you were finished.
He's like, he probably said to Kim, "Can you believe this American man?" But I appreciate it very much, Roger, for helping. Roger, Paul. Actually, it was Roger and Val. Paul was there as the comedic relief. And helped out. So it worked out pretty good though.
I'm just going to tell you, I think that's what makes this community so special, right? So I've been looking at Zoom, and next thing you know, we get a guy who knows all about Zoom. All of a sudden, he's part of the community, and it's like, oh, right? And so we got a hold of Curtis, and we talked to him, and now we're slowly but surely able to transform, into something that's clearer. And I think if Roger can do it, Herman can do it.
Everyone could do it.
Well, I watched somebody else's show earlier today, and there's a gentleman who is still saying that the quality of Zoom is not that good, and he still wants to do Skype. And
want to know why? Because he doesn't know how to use it. It's
I know.
The same thing. And I can see right now, I don't like your hat because of the way it's curved. Well, because I don't have a curved hat. You know the deal already. You've been doing this for a while.
It was entire entertainment for me. I was just sitting there going, wow, I can't believe this guy's saying this stuff. But okay, that's fine. I just feel bad that there's some false information going around right now.
That's what usually always happens.
People will see that the live streams are switching over to it. And also this will bring attention to Zoom, because they're going to say, thank goodness we put that feature in there for YouTube.
Yeah, thank goodness for Curtis, who called us and said, get your head out.
Well, also, I do want to point out that Zoom is not the only solution. It's just the solution that I found that worked for me, and then I'm sharing it with other folks. There are other.
Hold on. If it works for Roger, it works for anybody.
Everybody.
Okay.
Because nothing works for Roger.
Rogers internet speed really affected what he could use and what he couldn't use.
Look at Herman. He's going, here we go. Here we go.
Roland, I want to point. Roland, I'm sorry, I'm going to probably say your name incorrectly. Roland Thayusen on Drone TV. Hangouts is going away, so it's not an option at this particular point. I mean, yeah, you can still use Hangouts, but if you're going to continue to do live streaming like we do, you need to be looking at other solutions. Zoom is not the 100% solution. There are other solutions out there.
Yes.
It's just the one that works for us is all.
We can figure it out.
Agreed. I thank you for putting that disclaimer out there, because Zoom is not the messiah of FMEs, flash media encoders. What were you shaking your head for, Herman?
Val.
Herman?
But I will say this: if you like Hangouts and you don't want your co-host all up in the video all the time, 100% of the live stream, come to my show on Wednesday nights.
See you next time.
So it's easy enough to go to speaker view or to pin someone's video. Like Novice could pin me and then all you would see was me. It just depends. But this is what
Was that a suggestion?
No.
Oh.
No. Change is coming, guys. We can't stop it. It's soon, Zoom may not be the thing, and it may be something else, or Skype and OBS, or what you want to use. It doesn't matter what you use. Change is coming.
It's right.
Whatever works for you.
It does not matter what you use. It's how you use it, because for a very long time, I was flying a Phantom 4 Standard, and everybody had a professional. Okay. But I worked the hell out of that Phantom 4. And it was to the point where some people thought I may have had, because I know how to post edit. Some people may have thought that at some shots were from a professional or from a different drone. It's make what you have work. I had a 3DR Solo with a GoPro 4 Black, GoPro, whatever it was on it. Okay. I made what I had work. And right now, Zoom the work, and it's not, I believe if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, we just needed something uncomplicated, and that's what Curtis was able to help us with. Get something that's uncomplicated that we can run, and then if we want to bring OBS or other things into it, I'll probably slowly do that. But I just want to get it way down now.
Right, like I can bring in OBS now. Kurt is using OBS as well, and I can bring in OBS or not bring it in, and that's what I like about the option. Flash media and what's that, Kurt?
That you have options, yes.
Yeah, flash media encoders, FMEs, are really difficult, and you have to set them up like XSplit. You need to know a lot of stuff. XSplit. It's a great program. It's better than OBS, but it's hard as hell to use. But once it's set up, it's fine.
That's kind of what I think of OBS. It's great to use, but you got to get it set up, and it's got to be right, and you got to get really comfortable with it. But every time I do something new, I get more comfortable with stuff like that.
Now, Val, I wanted to ask you really quick. I had heard over a live stream last week sometime that the sensors on the cars kept going off because you kept hitting the lines. And then later on, I heard that you were doing 100 miles per hour. If you were doing 100 miles per hour, that would explain why the lines were going like this. So
no, I was talking to Roger, and it was an accident. It doesn't count if it's an accident.
It was an accident on the road, or you were swerving by accident?
No, it's like that face came on, and I was like, "What the hell is that face?" I think that's what made the swerve.
I just thought I would ask you about that.
I didn't know what it was, a scary face.
Well, but see, Lawrence, what she's not going to tell you is that she didn't realize how fast she was going. Roger asked her how fast she was going. She looked down and she was going 100 miles an hour. And so that's how she, in her mind, says, "Oh, it was an accident because I didn't mean to."
I didn't.
Okay.
That car was smooth. That was Camry. That was pretty smooth driving. That's, you need a car that gives you a little, like, when you go fast or shakes a little bit,
He was doing 60, but he was doing 100.
Yeah, kind of like the Clampets used to ride around Beverly Hills in,
Yeah.
Curtis, do something to him with your magic computer.
What do you want me to do?
I don't know, something.
Make them disappear.
Well, I do want to add something to something Lawrence just said a few seconds ago, talking about the difference using an older drone versus using the latest technology. And I was part of a conversation a couple of years ago that was kind of interesting. It started off with the guy saying, well, my drone does 4K and the drone that you have only does, 1080p, et cetera, et cetera. And the guy said, you know what? He goes, I know this guy in France that does chalk drawings on the street that are 3D that look phenomenal, and people pay him hundreds of thousands. I mean, not hundreds of thousands, but they pay him thousands of dollars for his artwork. It's what you do with the tool that you have that is more important than having the latest technology. And I'm sure you guys can Google chalk art on the street and you'll see the guy that I'm talking about. His stuff looks so real. You stand next to it and you think you're going to fall into this hole. Just phenomenal stuff.
I've seen some pictures from Europe where the guy draws this spiral and people stand over it and look and they start getting dizzy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's done with chalk. It's knowing your tools, and it's knowing your craft that is actually better than having the absolute latest technology. And that's just my takeaway on that.
That's true. A lot of people think getting new technology is better, but if you don't know the fundamentals from the beginning, then you're getting something that's $5,000 and you don't know how to use it, you're wasting money.
Now, Justin, How did you hurt yourself? Because you do realize the older you get, the easier it is to hurt yourself, huh?
I see that now. I mean, I'm gonna be 40 next year, and I'm not having a good start.
Only 40?
Yes, only 40.
Still so young, like a baby.
I don't feel young because every time I hurt myself, it's bad. So
that's the age of getting hurt.
Yeah. So I was a friend of mine. He didn't have that much money, so I was taking pictures at his wedding yesterday. So I was behind them when they were basically doing the marriage and everything like that. And I'm going down the stairs, and for what reason, I missed like 3 stairs, and my leg just went down, and it felt like something just ripped. So I don't think I fully tore a muscle in my thigh, but it hurts. So I could still walk, but if I had to go down on my knees, I would probably cry.
That's
my God.
Well, we don't want to see a grown man cry.
I will cry.
No, we definitely don't want. Hey, Rick Halber, how are you?
Hey, Rick.
But anyway,
Can you make it to work?
Getting back to this drone convention, it was nice. It was very much worth it. But Herman took a picture of tell him about the seagull.
Oh.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Tell him about that.
It was oh man, the sun was so hot, and this poor seagull, he came up like to where me and Lawrence's window was. There's like a little spot where he could hang out and get some shade.
Yeah.
And this poor seagull, it was so hot, he was up there and he just put his head down. He was like, you just kept seeing him bobbing his head. He just leaned it against the wall and just sat there.
No. That's like Herman.
I felt bad for him.
You're muted. No. There you go.
One little
Tomas, it's amazing what that guy does.
The little spot where he tried to put his head was funny because it was a little patch of shade, and all he could put was his beak and half his head in the shade.
Oh.
And tell him also, Herman, about those
and bring him in the car
at night.
What happened?
It was hot.
Birds that were flying at night, the hundreds of birds. Literally.
Well, we found out later on why this was going on.
You know, seagulls don't fly.
They have a big garbage pickup late night in Atlantic City. And the seagulls over the hotels that have these big, heavy lights, they hang out there, and you just saw them circling and circling and circling, waiting for the garbage pickup. And then they would just travel to the next spot, and they would circle and circle and just wait for the garbage pickup.
It was kind of scary because I looked it up. Seagulls don't fly at night. And Herman's theory was that the seagulls must be blind from looking at those lights at night all night long, you know. But it was kind of eerie. Oh, there he is. See his beak?
Oh, look at him.
Say something, Herman, so they can see.
Can you see it, Val?
Yes.
The way he's got his head tucked in there, trying to keep in the shade. The only couldn't get shade was his head.
Right. That was the only thing that could fit in the
Guy.
shade, which was kind of funny because that was right outside our window. Which, by the way, I'm waiting for the Claridge Hotel to send me a review on it via email. You know how Google Maps says you were at so-and-so place. What did you think of it? Well, I don't have enough page to type.
Did you love it?
That's all I'm going to say. Now, unbeknownst to Herman and I, this same weekend, the entire beach, each hotel has the beach behind the hotel, and they have a band and a stage set up. So right next door, there's a hotel with a band and a stage, and then they have one gigantic stage. Unbeknown to Herman and I, this weekend, they're having a 2-day concert. So the night before we were about to leave, we're noticing all these kids and teenagers and college students, and it almost looked like spring break. There were so many of them. And we came to find out that they're giving a 2-day concert there.
Yeah, nice.
But it was an interesting and enjoying trip. The trip was nice.
And so the hotel room, was it clean?
Herman?
Well, the hotel room was clean. It's just, you see the view we had.
You see
Show
that
us.
bird? Put the picture back up, Herman.
Oh, that was your room. I thought you were in your car.
No, that was looking at our damn window.
That was right outside our window.
Oh.
So basically, out of the entire hotel, we had the room
Hey, Rick Cowper.
obstructed view. Everyone had a view of the beach. Now you see that where he has his beak at? Where he has that beak, standing up about 4 feet is a wall, and then there's a glass roof that goes over the pool that's 1 floor below us.
Oh.
So when you look out, you see the reflection of people splashing in the water, and
Oh, man.
basically our view was obstructed. And I was tempted to go out on the roof and try and fly, but Herman said as soon as you open a window, they'll probably tackle you.
Yeah, it'll probably let some noise off downstairs if the window is open.
Yeah, Rulin said you guys know we don't see the picture. So one of the things with this, you can always go up in the corner, the right-hand corner, and move your mouse, and it'll say speaker view. Or Novice, you can go and actually pin him if you want him to be seen.
All right, we got about 6 minutes. Billy, if you're watching, you can pop in now if you want.
He didn't hear you, pal.
We're going to keep people on the panel. We just
He never
have
hears.
to come in anyway.
Not when he starts.
Hold on.
Here we go.
Eddie Nunez says Bogota only guys.
Bogata, only guys. Borgata.
All right, I'm sorry. I was stuck in another window doing something. Oh yes, Eddie. We flew the hell out of Atlantic City. The Borgata Hotel. We caught everything. We were able to catch the Borgata, the what's the Harris, which the entire building is a giant billboard.
Right.
So, and when Herman puts out some footage this week, I don't know if he's going to show it or what. I don't know what he's doing a video on, period. But when either one of us put out a video, you'll get to see some of the stuff.
So the Harris Casino is a casino, right? And
Yes. Casino and hotel.
Is that the same one they have down in Louisiana, in New Orleans?
They're all the same. They're all pretty much the same. But the entire building was a billboard. The entire building, all the way around. So no matter what side you approached it, you saw advertising and stuff like that on it.
Yeah, because they have a great buffet, guys. Because in New Orleans, I know they do. It's really expensive. Someone bought my dinners.
Oh no, we did have a good time. Let me text him and see what's up. He's familiar with Zoom, so he should be popping in soon anyway. But I'm gonna text him anyway.
Okay.
And let him know any time is good. Anyone have anything else to talk about before he comes in?
I think Paul had an issue. Paul, would you like to talk about your issue?
What's that?
Didn't you have an issue you wanted to bring up?
What? Huh?
He's like, huh? What?
Hey, Herman, don't you like the way Val tries to like set the hook and yank you in? You know, it's like,
Yeah. Like you had prior conversation.
yeah.
I never gambled there, Drone Life, in Harris, but the hotel is nice. The hotel is really nice. I have not been inside, but if they put all that money on the outside of the building, I'm almost sure that inside had to be better than where we were.
Yeah, and in New Orleans is really nice. I think the buffet was like $28. But a guy came up to me and my friend and he said, "Oh, I won big here," and gave and paid for our dinners. I was like, "Yes."
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, because I'm all like this. Here, have a dinner.
Val was like, because I was all like this.
Yes.
So I wasn't going to say anything, but now I am.
Uh-oh.
Val, you set the hook in Paul, but you kind of left us hanging.
Well, Canadian Drone Hub said, "Welcome back," and I just told him, I says, "Well, I think Val put me in the chat jail because I was gone for a while, and I don't know what happened." So.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Hey, John DiNardo.
Hey, John, how are you?
You guys got an active chat going tonight. That's really good.
I always say stuff to Paul, but normally, yeah, it's just me going, "Oh, did you have something you want to say, Herman? Go ahead and talk with the whole class now."
And Herman gives you the famous, "There you go."
Here we go.
There you go.
What's the problem now, Val?
It was Paul. Paul had to talk to you tonight.
Hey, Val, I think it would be a very good introduction to your show to have at least once during your show, explanations of the Urban Dictionary.
No.
Oh, there you go.
No, because when you look at it, no, everything's nasty in there. I don't like
So
it.
how do you have some of it that you come up with on your own, and then the other ones that you don't know is nasty?
Exactly.
Well, when I come up with it on my own, I don't mean it.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. The problem is Val has gone over to the Urban Dictionary and started reading it.
Yeah, we
From
can't.
before she met us all.
Hey,
Yeah.
Herman, here's the deal with Val. If it's not going well, it's an accident.
Right. That's it.
It's an accident.
You're 100% right.
My grandson told me you can't get mad if it's an accident.
Is that right?
So you know, he knows.
She goes, yeah.
That's when he broke something in mine that was expensive. He goes, I said, "Oh, it's okay." And he goes, "Oh, that's right. You can't get mad if it's an accident." I said, "No, I just can't get mad at you."
How old is
I can get mad, but not at you.
How old is he now?
He's 13 now, but he told me that when he was like 4.
Uh-huh.
So who
Yeah.
are you going to have on your show tonight, Val?
I believe
Well, if we're all getting kicked out, it's going to be us.
Robert Banks is coming on. But I also asked Nomadic if he'd like to come on, and then y'all are welcome on. Yeah, it's just,
It's just
I didn't really plan because this is the past 2 weeks are really travel heavy for me.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit harder for me to plan it
So
out.
it really is Urban Dictionary night, right?
No, because I have to have people who come in and actually subscribe to my channel, not run away from my channel.
I think people would enjoy it.
So
I
Val, we're
don't
not going to do
think so.
Urban Dictionary.
Mike,
So
Hey,
what are
Mike.
you going to do?
huh?
So what are you going to do?
When?
What
Well,
are you
here's
gonna do?
She's going to talk about those lettuce
Your
wraps
show.
again.
here's
Oh.
here. Yeah, I don't.
Curtis.
Here's what everybody in chat think up your favorite phrase from the Urban Dictionary, and then go
No.
to Val's life.
Do not listen to Paul because
Yes,
Paul's going to get blacklisted.
You can ask.
This done. Bam.
Later, Tomas.
Paul.
Later, Tomas. Mike Roach, your camera's not on.
Going?
I guess that may be what's wrong, but
It's down in the bottom.
Later, everyone that left.
your
and
lower
welcome
right
everyone who's
hand,
here.
lower left hand corner.
Yep.
I would explain it, but everybody else knows how now.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right, hold on.
Billy Kyle's joining.
So we can just chill and hang out. There you go, Mike.
Mike.
We
Oh,
got
you have
Mike
to-
Roach
you're
there.
right, Mike.
That's it.
You have to hit your microphone, babe.
Show's over.
He said the show's over. Mike's here.
King of Urban Diction.
Did you see your microphone, Mike? The bottom left-hand side, just hit which one you're using.
Okay, gotcha. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yes.
Yeah, we good.
All right.
Yeah, we could hear you fine. Billy
You know-
just got in. We're waiting for him.
Let's hope I see you tonight.
YouTube is looking good.
No, you guys can hang out and chill out. He must be
Billy
having a
left.
problem. He must be having a problem signing in. He's familiar with he told me he was familiar with Zoom because he uses it in school. So apparently he's not doing too well in school because so Billy, if you can, please try again. You know I got love for you, man.
And Billy, make sure when you do, you press.
Oh,
the,
see what it was.
little
Billy
camera.
Kyle couldn't sign in, but Billy could. So let's see.
Trying
So
a different account.
press the camera,
Is this? I'm waiting for him to get on.
bottom left-hand corner.
So Billy, there you go. Welcome. Is this
you
the
hear?
account your girl doesn't know about? Because Billy Kyle came in and then you got out, and now it gets is Billy. Unmute your mic. Dude. Lower
Go
left
to
hand
your
corner.
You'll
mic.
need to select your microphone also.
Yeah. Need to select your mic as well. That Kurt says.
All right, he's up.
Say something.
By the way, you can boot me out if you need extra room.
No, don't worry.
Nah, there's plenty of room.
Okay,
YouTube's
hold
looking
on,
good right now.
Curtis. I'll see
Can
if
you
I can
hear us,
get
Billy?
out.
We can actually fit one more
Hey,
person.
Brent.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
going back to the other account. So can you hear
Don't
us
press
now?
the wrong thing. So in left-hand corner, there's a mic, and you open it up and press which one you want to use.
Yeah, I
What's
just have to
happening, Billy?
download the app from my phone
Can you
and
hear us, Billy?
If you can hear us, give a thumbs up. You
Can't
can't
hear
hear us.
yeah, he's got to set his audio too.
He's got a what?
Set his audio. Which
I
audio?
think he's pretending because
When was the last time he used Kurt? Can you assist him?
us.
Oh, he popped out. He's going to probably pop back in.
Billy laughed.
All right. But anyway,
Paul, stop trying to scare him.
Maybe we should. A few of us ought to back out for a while. Maybe we're scaring him off. I don't know.
I don't think so, but I think it's just a technical issue on
Gary.
his end. And just give him some time. He'll be able to get in. I do believe.
Billy, check the chat, the internal chat.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Lower left corner. Okay, now he's here. Well, he was here.
He is here twice.
Oh, good.
Okay. So one of them got to
What is
work.
better than one, Billy Kyle? Two.
Billy, checking the chat. Click the little chat button at the bottom of Zoom meetings, and the instructions are right there. It's just select your mic and camera that you're using.
Yeah.
And
You
and
don't
audio
have
also.
to. You don't have to use OBS. You should be able to come straight in using your camera after you select your camera. Say something. I heard you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Yeah,
hear
we can
you
hear
now.
you now.
First, hold on, stop. The Billy Kyle account I know, but is the Billy account the one you use you don't want your girl to know about?
Is that the email?
Yeah, because I'm like,
Well, no. So
All right,
I've got an
good on
email.
YouTube?
I've got an email account I display on my YouTube, just because sometimes people spam through there, and I'd rather filter that into a totally different email account. So I got a couple email accounts for different things.
okay, well, everyone, welcome Billy to Sunday nights with those guys.
What's
You've
going
been-
on, guys?
Go on, Billy.
Hi, Billy.
East
Hey,
Coast and
Billy.
West Coast. What's up, Billy?
Is East Coast. He's in Pennsylvania. Billy's in Pennsylvania.
Well, I'm West Coast.
East
But-
Coast.
Idaho.
I
That
look like
sounds
an
wrong, but you know what I mean.
I look like an idiot coming in here, not being able to say anything.
Well, see, that's what I said. I said before when you had come in, I said, well, Billy's familiar with it because he uses it in school. And then you disappeared. I said, apparently he's failing at using it in school.
Well, I actually I tried to boot it up through the app itself, but it just kept saying join meeting and it was spinning around. So I had to just use the web browser. And I tried Safari at first and that wasn't working. And I tried Chrome now and it works perfectly fine.
Billy, you know why it didn't work, right? Because I don't support anything in my channel with the letter I in front of it. So, what's good? How's it going, man? What's going on your side of the world?
Not much. I just got back from like a little surprise party for my dad, or not for my dad, but for somebody on his side of the family. So that was fun. How about you guys? What's cracking?
I'm good. We went, and I wanted to thank you personally because a week and a half before that drone expo, you said, I don't think they're going to have it. And
Yes.
I was like, he knows something I don't know, but I'm with it.
So I was going to go when you're the one that told me about it.
Right.
And I was talking to a couple of other people and somebody sent me a screenshot, which I know you texted me. Sorry for not getting back to you about the source, but I had somebody send me a screenshot of I guess maybe a post from them saying that the event was off and that they weren't going to have it. And I saw a lot of people, actually not a lot of people, but I saw a few people say that they weren't able to get refunds. They went and they were turned away. It was a totally changed event. So I think it was just poor planning across the board.
Yeah,
It was, Billy, because the reason why Lawrence hit you with that, who was your source, is because when he told me about it, I tried to contact them and they insist that it was still going on.
Really?
Yeah, they told us up until we went to the convention center and they told us that, oh, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So you guys went?
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
yeah.
We checked out drone racing. We flew the hell out of Atlantic City.
That's awesome.
You could imagine. You could imagine. We were burning batteries and charging and going back out.
Where did you guys fly from?
Where did we fly from? We found
actually there's a little cutout in the cut right next to the Harris Hotel, where you can actually hit the Golden Nugget, Harris, and and what's the other one? The Water Club.
Yeah.
One
we got to hit those. It was a construction site. They're doing work, and it was a little cutout, and everyone's driving by to parking, and everyone was going by, and we were in this little driveway like it was made for us. We had our vest on, and I guess security looked across at us and said, "Oh, they got vests on. They must be taking pictures." And they left us the hell alone.
Awesome.
And we also flew from behind the Claridge. If you know what a Claridge is, they have a park behind the Claridge. Well, right on the side of the park, right there, we were able to fly from there. We flew the hell out of it. Trust me.
And then we flew from in front of someone's home.
On purpose or by mistake?
Well, no,
on purpose.
It was just that you, like Philadelphia, you could stop somewhere and pull over and throw. As long
as you know police in Atlantic City until after the event happens.
Yeah. But it was fun. Let's put it that way. It was good. I got a lot of good footage. We had fun. Herman had fun telling everyone that I went to sleep at 9 when we didn't, but it's okay.
I had to keep him up.
When Ken and I went, we went, and this was off hours. This was like during probably just as it was coming out of the wintertime. So we were probably able to do this just because it wasn't as busy, but we went to the top of the Ocean parking garage and we flew from there. So that was pretty fun.
Okay. And how hard was it to get Ken out of the casino?
He's funny, man. He's like, all right, we're going in. We're only going to put a certain amount down. And as soon as you go up a little bit, like if you're up by like $5, like, dude, cash out. Let's go.
So here, what happened with that photo contest? You sent me a link. What happened with that?
I'm a healthy first place lead now. I have been doing nothing but sending it to my contacts. I've been sending it to different people that I know, high school, college. I've been sending
you type in the chat room and put the link, and you guys vote for Billy. Explain what it is. Explain what it is. While you type in the chat.
So it's basically a shutter company, and this construction company I do work for, which is actually my dad's construction company, they put these shutters on their home, and so they're pretty much trying to choose the home of the year, and I take photos for them. So I submitted the photo on their behalf. They were cool with it. I just put a link in there into like the YouTube chat if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. Every vote counts. There's some fishy stuff going on because last night, I forget the exact vote that I was in, but me and this one other house were going back and forth. And since then, I've just kind of shared it with every single person I know, really have blown them out of the water almost. But what I was up by 40, and when I woke up in the middle of the night, they were then past me by 60. So they went up 100 overnight between like 2 and 6 in the morning. So I don't understand how they're getting their votes, but
I understand how they're getting their votes. They're paying people to vote for them.
Well, I've been pushing that link like crazy, but yeah, if anybody in here could vote for it, that'd be sweet.
Oh, Billy, last night, it's not how is 8 going, it's how is it going, because the 8 is right there next to the I. You know, I got big fingers. Sometimes when you move quick, how is it going, not 8 going.
Okay, I voted. Hopefully the picture that popped up was yours, right?
Yeah, so I sent a direct link to mine, and that's what
I voted for.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to plan, and I'm not going to say nothing, Justin, but we've been trying to plan, Billy, to come over there. I'm trying to put Justin on the spot.
I'll talk to you after.
Okay, you did give me a schedule, Billy, and I apologize, but I can't.
You're a driver.
If I could ride there on a skateboard, I would, dude.
Have you? This is totally off topic, but I was reading an article about how some guy rode one of those electric skateboards from New York City to Philadelphia.
Are you serious?
He had a ton of batteries. He stopped and charged. He like stopped at one time and had a bunch of chargers and a bunch of batteries and charged them all up at the same time, and then kept riding. I wonder what trail he rode.
Is it like the one you have?
I don't know. I've got a boosted board. I think it was a boosted board. I don't know exactly which one it was, but still, it's insane that he rode all the way on a boosted board.
I thought it was insane. I thought it was insane that day that you rode all the way from the museum to where the hell we were going that day.
Yeah.
I think I'd crash as soon as I stepped on it.
Thank you, John Bernardo.
I crashed as soon as I stepped on it the first time. I fell right off of it.
Yeah, but you seem to ride it pretty good. Everyone's saying what's up to you. They voted and they supported you. And for those of you who don't know, Billy's already got a blue wrench because he's already one of those guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that what you have?
On Herman's show.
Yeah.
You need to start branching out. After we patent his name, we need to start branching out. Seriously.
Yeah, right.
But I'm dying to come back to Philly because I want to shoot your city again, and I want to shoot the city area both in day and night, but I can only do one at a time. So that would be an excuse to come back and do it again. What's that, Herman?
Eddie Nunez has one too. He rode from Manhattan to Coney Island. When you get to Philly, Eddie, let me know.
He rode to Chelsea Piers. Okay, that's a pretty good distance, though.
Yeah. Well,
how far does it go, Billy?
The one that I have, they say, I don't know exactly how many miles of range that they say. I end up getting anywhere between like 4 and 6, just going as fast as possible the whole entire time, which is still pretty good, except the batteries are a pain to change. You've got to take out like 6 screws. I don't have a second one. I don't have a second battery, so I just ride on one. But it's a change.
I would imagine that they're pretty heavy. Are there any? If you guys have questions, don't feel free to ask him while you're here. He's not as bad as he looks. I mean, you should see how he talks when he's in a bar, but I'm joking. We've never gone out drinking, but hopefully when we come to Philly, we'll be able to break bread the proper way. So far, we've been eating outside at Philly cheesesteak joints.
That's the best thing to do.
Billy,
Yeah, we don't want to hear about
that. Be
that.
a law against how fast you eat a Philly cheesesteak, dude.
Yeah, because it comes out the other end too fast.
Well, you know, I found that out. You remember? I found that out in that store. You guys remember that?
Yeah, you had to stop at the Rite Aid.
Listen, let me explain something. What they don't tell you, Kurt,
yeah,
Paul, Mike, and Val. What they don't tell you in Philly, him being a Philly resident, what they don't tell you is, and I've read this on the internet, if you've never had an official Philly cheesesteak from Pat's, you should be close to a bathroom.
Yeah, and I could test it at 100%.
Justin experienced what I experienced the first time, Billy, when I was like, "Yo, we gotta find a bathroom," and I was.
Yeah, according
that's pretty much any outdoor service.
Yeah, but
any outdoor service truck.
The way Lawrence tells the story is they don't have any bathrooms in Philadelphia anymore.
not after 7 p.m.
He's not allowed in that
night.
park anymore. Oh, no.
What did you say, Val? What happened, Val?
I said you're not allowed in that park anymore after that.
Well, all I can say is we found a Rite Aid, and there was no one on the floor. And I told the girl when I saw her, if you don't open that bathroom, I'm going to go right there between those clothes. And she got the bathroom open.
Yo, too much information.
Oh, but Billy, when he told the story on here, it went further into that. even the part about the screaming and the girl was calling the manager.
I did tell him in detail. You don't know about that, but it was funny. What's up, Cool Vic? What's up, Rick? Ricky Dove.
Let me try to save this show here for just a second. John DiNardo has a question for Billy Kyle. What's your favorite quad to fly while you're shooting video? See if we can kind of steer away from this.
Yeah, for real. I was just typing something out. I'll respond here over voice. My favorite drone is the Inspire 2 right now, just because it's so fast. It meets my needs. But also, I mean, the Mavic 2 is right on the heels. The Mavic 2, ever since it came out, it's blown me away. The Pro, it's blown me away how much you fit into that drone in terms of range, in terms of flight time, how quiet it is, the camera. I mean, it's so perfect that I just don't even know why we would ever need another drone. Of course, as technology progresses, we're going to need something more. But I mean, we could ride this out for a couple more years and be fine.
Billy, I have a question, Billy, about the Inspires. I've had 3 Inspires: the Inspire 2 and the Inspire Pro, and I sold them both because I fly on the border. There's a lot of radio interference, and they were using the old light bridge system, and love the birds, love the way they flew. I told DJI, can I send it back? Can you convert it to OcuSync? No.
Yeah, that is its biggest pitfall is light bridge, and especially how fast they go. You don't recognize that you're out a mile in no time, right? Yeah. And you're flying out and you get so far, or maybe you fly just behind like a tree or something and you begin to lose signal. I mean, the breakup is definitely a lot worse than OcuSync. And I think that DJI is just going to be going towards this model where they make all drones going forward. And I think they're doing the conversion of some of their older drones. Like we saw the Phantom, the Matrice, and then I bet you the Inspire's next.
Yeah.
They or change it.
Rick Halbert pointed out something that we should do. Now, this is our first live stream Sunday nights with those guys using Zoom. So we've never done a drop using Zoom before. So Rick Halbert said, don't forget while the whole panel's here to do it. So I guess if we can do it. Billy, you remember how?
I think I might need
Never mind. No. We usually go Sunday nights with those guys. It's sponsored by, and I hesitate half a second, and then we go those guys all at once.
With some enthusiasm this time, guys. I don't want to have to keep saying that. If Herman goes, those guys. No, Herman.
Val, leave poor Herman alone.
This is the
Okay.
benefit of Zoom right here. With Hangouts, you wouldn't see Herman's reaction. It'd just be a little square, but with it nice and blown up like this, you see his reaction. It's perfect.
Okay, so we will do the drop real quick so we can get it out of the way. I'm trying to collect montages, but I think I'll start over when using Zoom, and it's a lot cleaner. So Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
There we go. Thank you very much, guys.
That was somewhat better, but only because Billy's here. God.
Hey, how do I make it so I can see everybody at one time?
In the upper right-hand corner, there's something called gallery view.
One more time.
Oh, wait, why? Hold on a second. My wife says that we should do it again. I don't know why, but she's standing in front of me, and I'm really scared right now.
Rushed over there.
What was wrong? What did we do wrong?
What did we do wrong? They said. Do it. Okay. I guess you guys are supposed to watch the camera because she's standing here with something in her hand. So I don't know what the hell it is. But
Everybody look at your camera.
Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
They participated. Okay. I appreciate that. Later, EBR. Now, Billy, what projects are you working on, man?
Right now, I'm pretty much got my full foot on the throttle with the Anafi. I've got a couple of videos in the pipelines. It's just taking me a little bit longer to shoot them than I expected, but in the meantime, I've just been having so much fun actually flying it. It's so good.
I wanted to ask you also, and I have this issue that you have with Ken Adobo. The guys don't know Ken Adobo is like Herman and I, or with those guys. These guys are like, they're even sillier. But I have this issue with my partner. How do you keep him serious?
Here we go.
No, I can't keep Ken under wraps. He's crazy. He'll go off on tangents all the time. You see that video he posted the other day about our good friend Drone Worship?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I can't keep him under control. He just goes crazy.
What happened to Drone?
Don't they live in the same state?
Yeah, they do.
We should have a battle royal. Record the whole thing with drones flying around. Just go at it.
I think there'd be excuses coming from Dan. Quite frankly, he likes to make excuses.
Well, we won't go into that, and we will diverse from the subject. We'll talk after the stream.
Yeah, let's go that way.
Yeah.
Can I ask Billy a question?
Yeah.
Mike?
We keep hearing about how Philadelphia is so open for flying drones and everything. What is different about Philadelphia in terms of FAA regulations as opposed to any other city?
So first of all, if you look at AirMap, it's really laid out well. In my opinion, the best spots to fly are just outside of the airspace from Philadelphia International, which is great. There's a good amount of warning zones, there's a good amount of heliports, but if you look on AirMap, there is a really good amount of space to fly outside of those restricted zones. I mean, you've got Ray Street Pier, you've got the Art Museum, you've got the Eastern State Penitentiary. Even though they've got that locked off for some reason, you can fly around it. I mean, there's so many good spots to fly, first of all. But from an FAA standpoint, I really don't think that there's any sort of difference between Philadelphia and New York City, but there's also just a lot less air traffic. I don't really hear as many helicopters going over. The main international airport is kind of shoved outside of the city. So I guess there's a combination of a lot of things. The people are pretty nice about it. The police are pretty cool with it. I remember when we were flying around the Benson Bridge, they showed up on us one time, and they were really cool about it. And then
you're talking about when we were there that night.
Yeah, and we were following the train going.
The train operator said that there was a drone near.
Yeah.
Even though that drone pilot wasn't with our group, the police officer told us he hopes it's not one of us.
Well, look, I think, again, to answer your question, so it's like a mixture of things. The people are nice, the police are nice, and there's really not a lot of restricted zones. And the area that there is, it's like the part you probably wouldn't even want to fly in.
I guess if you put it in one word, it'd be attitude. They're not down on drone pilots because they don't see you as a threat.
Yep, exactly.
Everybody, Philadelphia is definitely a drone-friendly city. I mean, I have never been anywhere that you can go and just pull over on the side of the road or just stop right here and go flying. I mean, That's like the ultimate drone pilot's paradise over there in Philadelphia.
And it's pretty crazy because I'll go outside and I'll go somewhere to start flying, and there'll be like a couple of other people there too that I meet that I don't plan to meet up with, but they're just there and you just fly together. It's a lot of fun.
Well, we definitely want to make a trip back there because I can't get enough of Philadelphia. And for some reason, every time we go, we were going under someone else's conditions, meaning as soon as they burnt the battery, it was time to go home. Well, I want to shoot a spot like your city from different angles. Those skyscrapers, the pyramid skyscrapers in Philadelphia, the William Tell statue.
The William Penn statue.
If you remember, I had a Phantom 4 Standard last time.
Is there an apple up there?
Teller.
Last time I had a Phantom 4 Standard. Now I have a professional, so I can shoot the statue at night.
Yes. Yep.
That's why I'm fiending to go back there now.
Yeah. It's such a fun spot to fly. Even living here and having having these same spots to fly almost every day, I never get bored of it. There's always something different to shoot when I go to these spots.
So,
Well,
Billy,
somebody in Philadelphia doesn't like drones.
so let me ask you a question, Billy. Are you in college now?
Yeah, I go to St. Joe's and I'm coming up on my senior year, so I've got one more year left. And
So are you going full time?
yeah, I've got pretty much 5 classes a semester. I've got to make up one, so I don't know if I'm going to do it. They call it like an intermission course or intercession course, so I'll do that like
Right.
online class. It's like 3 hours a day during winter break, or I'll just load up and do one semester.
Very good. And so what's your degree in?
Communications and then a minor in film. I started in computer science, and that is like a different language. It was right over my head.
My oldest did his in communications, and I remember my dad asking him, well, grandson, what are you going to do with that? Who are you going to talk to? But communications is a really good degree. You can do a lot of stuff with that.
I really agree. And it's funny because there's actually not a lot of guys in the communications field in my school. It's a bit of a smaller, I guess, division or whatever, but I really do enjoy the classes I'm taking. They're pretty challenging. And I don't know, it was a good change for me.
So how were you able to come about affording these wonderful drones you have? And I guess you crash them sometimes too.
Billy,
and
I must interrupt now because Val's setting you up for an interview on her show.
No, it's cool.
I just wanted to know, because how many young people do we see?
No, but the reason I'm saying that, Billy, is because Val is very extensive. So if you have any videos that you don't want her to find from back in the archives,
get rid of them.
Get them off now.
Well,
no,
so
I was just wondering.
It started out when I was going into college. I saved up money at like a pizza place, and I wanted to save up money pretty much so that I could use it and live off of it during school, just whatever I wanted to buy. And very, I guess, irresponsibly of me, I spent it all on a Phantom 4. I thought they were so cool. They were on Best Buy, so I went down and I pretty much spent all my money on it. And then from there, just continuing to use the money that comes from my YouTube channel, I pretty much put it all back into the YouTube channel, buying drones, buying new gear. I don't think I've made a profit, but I'm kind of fortunate because as I'm in college, I'm still living with my parents, so it's nice. I do have to give them credit.
And keep doing that, because believe it or not, it does save a lot of money.
It really does.
Really? You lucky
So
bastard.
are you going to continue with YouTube and let that grow even while you're when you get out of college?
I definitely will. I think it's something just fun to do on the side. It fills time when I'm not busy, whether it be at nighttime, on the weekends. It's also just fun because when you're shooting video, what is it just to have it on your own computer rather than share with other people? That's my biggest thing. It's a great outlet. And not only just for sharing video, but also connecting with other people and talking with people, because I wouldn't know 3/4 of the people that I know now if it weren't for starting a YouTube channel. Like, it's so cool.
And how many subscribers you have now?
I'll stop.
I haven't looked. I think it's like 56,000. It's coming up on 60,000. I'm a little bit worried. Again, for me, it's all fun and games. But I'm a little bit worried just because I even did a live stream last night about how there's really no new drones coming out, and channels like mine, channels like everybody who's pretty much in the stream will thrive off of new drones coming out. And if we've sort of hit this plateau now, I don't know what's next. I don't know what there is to do in the future. It kind of, I mean, how long can we talk about the Mavic 2 for? How long can we talk about the Phantom 5
Right.
for? I mean,
a lot of people go on with the speculation. It gets kind of ridiculous. Nobody knows for sure what DJI is coming out with next. Right now, why should they come out with something? They lead in every aspect of the market. There's no pressure on them to come out with a new drone.
Exactly, and it sucks. It sucks how we're sitting here and we're talking about what's the next drone that DJI is going to come out with, and we couldn't even name another competitor. I mean, I've got no idea what Autel has. Parrot, you know, they came out the Anafi and then the Anafi Thermal, and they've been pretty quiet. Even Unique, I couldn't even tell you the last drone because they're sitting on the drones they already have. So it's not only just DJI; it's such a lack of competition, and it just continues to get worse and worse and worse.
So
Well,
basically,
I think
basically what you're saying is you're like the Yankees in baseball.
excuse me, Herman, what did you say?
Nothing.
What?
Herman's getting frustrated.
Nothing. I'm good.
So then I guess my question would be, if they're not putting out more drones, could it be just temporary because all the laws that have been coming, they're kind of holding on to stuff?
That's what I was going to say. I think everybody's kind of waiting.
Like, Curtis, is that scary for you, Curtis?
It's fine for me. No, I agree. I think, and this is only my opinion, I think that the drone companies they've got some products ready. I just think they're waiting to see what the FAA, the CAA, and all these other governmental agencies are saying and doing. Again, not wanting to go political with the conversation, but I think they're kind of hanging in there going, wait a minute, before we start investing more product and sending stuff out, we don't want to get shut down. So, you know, putting something in a production pipeline requires an investment. So that's my opinion only. But if you watch what Trump is saying, if you watch what our governments are doing, it's like, I'd wait and see what they finally come up with.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
And what's the rush too? We all have the drones they have out right now are so awesome.
They're so good.
If someone needs a drone, just go get a Mavic 2.
Yeah, the drones are so awesome now. I would die to get into their research and development to see what the hell they have.
Right.
You know,
I think
Herman showed a video last week on his live stream. They're putting AI in drones. So now not only do they have obstacle avoidance, but now pretty soon it'll be you could throw a ball at a drone and it'll move out the way.
That's so great
because if a bird's flying towards you, it'll know to move out the way. You won't have to respond. It'll do it automatically. I mean, that's further down the line because they're doing it with racing drones.
It's cool to see things like that. But for me, and I know that there's still a lot of other people out there, I could care less about these gimmicky features. There's two things that I want improved. It's range and battery life. Not only for a range purpose to fly really far, but I'm just talking interference wise. I don't want to be in an area that's congested and not be able to fly a mile out and say, oh, well, that's pretty much my wall. I can't fly past there. And then also at the same time,
I agree.
You're flying around really fast and you get down to the point where you're at like 50%, and then you have to be cautious about what you want to shoot and then say, all right, I got to bring it down, change the batteries. It just ruins the flow of it. I mean, I wish that they'd really work on those two things, because if they release just a Mavic 2.5 or whatever and they said, look, they can fly for 40 minutes now, you bet that I'd be buying that. It would be a no-brainer.
You know what? You're right about that, Billy. When I was talking, what Lawrence was mentioning, it also had to do with something they mentioned, the FAA mentioned in with the symposium, and they were talking about things that would make that whole commercial aspect of drone flying better. And you know how things trickle down manufacturers-wise. They were talking about these sensors on the drone, these cameras on the drones getting better, so that way when these drones that they need to be able to fly out of line of sight would have better sensors on it. You know, after a while, those things trickle down to the consumer. Yeah. And when he moves on to the next sensor, we'll get something a little better than what we have, and so on and so forth. Once that price point is for that technology can be reached without them having to hit you in the head and raise the drone to like $3,000. So, you know, like when they was talking on your live stream last night, guys mentioned about how about the Typhoon H, nice drone. It actually can handle wind better than a lot of the DJI drones, but the range is terrible.
I know. It's a shame.
Hey, Billy, have you seen
Prove that.
Billy? Have you seen that new stick that's come out now with
Fluidity.
the
Fluidity. I'm going to post a link, Billy.
What is it?
Actually, the designer and creator, who is a NASA
astronaut?
designed a joystick for people who were handicapped, who could fly.
Yeah.
It was a yoke. Well, I'm going to put the link in. We're going to have the designer of that device on here next week.
Really, that's
They
awesome.
just had a pre-launch where the device was, I think, $300 or something like that. And after the 30th, which is today, it's going to $450, but it seems to be taking off. And if you haven't looked into it, you need to check it out, seriously, because not only can you do everything that we can do with one controller with this one joystick, but if DJI catches wind of it, these guys could be paid for life.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what's funny? At CES last year, again, I mean, CES was not big for drones whatsoever, but the coolest thing I saw was this kid came up to the DJI booth and said, "Look, I have something to show you. Can I like do it in the drone cage?" And he was able to control a spark with his hand. So all he had to do in order to make it go left was go like this and go like this, and to bring it towards him, he would go like this. So he could fly the entire thing with just hand movements, side to side,
Gestures.
down. Yeah, it was really cool. Like you put on a glove, and it's not like the drone was looking at you, but literally with the movement of your hand, it would move. And I think that that's a technology that, DJI would definitely be pretty interested in.
Check out the links that Curtis Dart put. Curtis is actually very close to the guys over at Fluidity.
Yes, Scott, I've known Scott for a while. We had a chance to interview him over on Drone Owners Network Live. The first link is the interview with him, and then he sent us out the very first samples of the FT Aviator, and we had some guys meet up with him, though, down in Houston and flew with him for the very first ones. And they've made a little video down there of their experience and everything, kind of talked about it. And then that we kind of give our overview of what we thought about the product in the second link.
I'll have to check once we're done here. I've got a long.
Please do. This company, I pray for you. Those of you who are not religious, I wish that this company does very well, and DJI actually steps to them and says, "Hey, we didn't think about that, but how do you want 6 million?" I would like to see that for these guys, because because they're American based, American built. We need more shit like that, plain and simple.
Well, I know you're gonna have Scott on next week, and I can tell you guys right now. First of all, he's very down to earth, but I mean, the man has been to space 4 times, more than anybody else. He's done the most dangerous spacewalk that's ever been done in the history of NASA. The arm was fully extended, and he was on his tiptoes out on the edge repairing solar panels. He's a doctor. He's been up Mount Everest twice. Didn't succeed the first time. Injured going up. Was almost there. Made it the second time. He's a doctor. He's let's see, what else can I say about him? He's surgeon. He's written 2 books. He's now doing robotic surgery, and he's kind of started playing around with drones when he was doing robotic surgery, and he got frustrated with the controller, which is how the FT Aviator came about. So he essentially dumbed it down somewhat, and then got with some engineers and said, "Hey, so this drone I'm flying, it's got software. How do we do this?" So they contacted, and I'm giving some of the story away here, but I want to set up for next week for you guys. He contacted DJI, and they said, "Hey, we have an SDK you can get." So they got the SDK, and they started programming the thing, and that's kind of where they are right now.
That is incredible. That dude sounds like a beast.
Cool.
And I asked him about that too. I said, "Scott, just for my personal edification here, how do you do all that in your life?" And the answer is going to surprise everybody. He wanted to be an astronaut when he was a kid, just like all of us. But instead of us seeing this big, huge goal, he set these baby steps. And he said, "Well, to do this, I have to do this. And to do that, I have to do this." And he said right up to the moment of the first launch when he went up into space, he didn't actually think he was going to get it. And he goes, he was sitting on the rocket pad, strapped in the suit, ready to go. And he goes, "Oh, I guess I am going to go."
Wow.
So yeah, he just sets small goals for himself, and he just keeps going. And when he gets that goal, he sets it. But he has an overall view of where he wants to go. But he sets these small goals for himself, and just keeps pushing and keeps pushing. And he did that with Everest. He did that with becoming a doctor, and he's doing that right now with Fluidity.
I wonder what his thoughts are on SpaceX.
What happened?
I wonder what his thoughts are on SpaceX.
Oh, he's excited. He's up at Boeing right now in Seattle, talking to them up there right now. So as far as SpaceX, I'm not sure. That's the killer thing about him that I wanted to point out to you guys when you come on and interview him next week is he wants to talk about Fluidity, but anything at all is on the table. He will talk about all of the stuff.
So cool.
Yes. And please go check out that site, Billy. I think I haven't seen anything motivate me as much as this. I'm not getting paid, neither was Kurt or anyone.
Yeah.
This joystick was basically designed for someone who only had one hand.
Yeah.
Because it's omnidirectional, meaning you could use your left or right hand, and you can control
ambidextrous
of your gimbal, everything. Check out the site. You'll see, and basically I like it because, and don't quote me on this, I would never do this, but just the thought that I could. It's like having a Porsche and being able to do 230 and knowing you never will. I could fly and eat a cheeseburger.
Well, you'll need it on a tripod. There's somewhat of a misnomer that it's one-handed. You do need, if you're going to fly normally, they call it the surfboard, the portion that I'm right-handed. So the portion that you hold in your left hand controls all of your camera functions. It controls all of the expo settings. You don't need to go into the app anymore. It's all right there in your left hand. It comes with a 1/4 screw in there, so you can mount it on a tripod if you want to.
That's a good idea.
And most guys are doing it.
And it has a dial for turtle or fast instead of having to go in and speed up everything.
Exactly, the expo settings. Yes.
You just turn it.
So in Paul's case, he sees a ship and he's like, oh my gosh, so he can put it in rabbit mode and get out to that ship, and then when he's there, he can click it 4 clicks right over into turtle mode, and suddenly he's got that nice buttery smooth cinematic feel going on. And all this is still adjustable within your app. And they have their own app that they're using. There's a couple downsides to what's coming out right now. One is they made a mount so that you can have your iPhone or your Android phone. They didn't think about iPads and tablets and stuff like that. So currently right now you'd need to come up with a solution to mount it on a tripod or something. But
right.
No, I've been talking to him. He was on our show, and he wants to get on some other guys' show. I've got him going on Bill the Drone Reviewer's show. I've got him going on here the week after, next Sunday on Novice Squad's channel. Billy, later on, I can talk to you if you want. We can get him on your show.
Definitely. Yeah. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to bring it up, because if you were to check out this joystick, so far, I haven't seen anyone that has checked it out and has not liked it for one reason or another.
Yeah, and Billy, if it's something that you might want, you've got till the end of the day to order it.
At $2.99,
shipping right away, and it's $350 today. Tomorrow it's going to be $450.
Yeah, they had a pre-order. They actually had a pre-order going on, a pre-launch order, and they were offering it for $350 up until the 30th, which is today, and then it's going to jump to $450.
I'm checking it out right now. Revolutionizing drone.
So I did put the link. I thought I did. There it is, right there. For you guys in the chat room that don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about Fluidity Tech and their single-handed yoke controller.
I have not flown with it yet, but the guys that I know that have it, the guys that are on my staff, they're like, hey, this is like putting some fun back in flying drones again.
Well, didn't you say the overview that you got from your staff that are flying it is it made it so much more precise? In other words, like when you're going forward, you go straight in that direction. You don't get that little twitch, how you got to
sideways go off.
They call it, the official terminology is cross coupling, and it's inherently bad with a Xbox style controller because it's a rotary control. So when your thumb goes forward and you get tired, your thumb can drift to the right or the left, and you don't realize it. So when
Happens
you're,
later.
you know, and in the case of somebody flying next to a building, you find yourself, oh, I'm getting too close, and you have to correct, and then your shot's kind of ruined at that particular point. Anytime you do any kind of course correction, your shot's ruined, especially when you get to the pro level. So with this, when you go forward, there's a tactile feel to it, and you're going forward. That's all there is to it. When you, and as far as things like orbits and figure eights, now figure eights are not something you want to think about for cinematic stuff, but in orbit, it is literally.
Correction is $299
Twist.
now. It'll be $450 starting tomorrow.
$299. Yep.
Yeah.
So people that want to, you know, if you're using the DJI modes and stuff like that, you know, sure, yeah, you can do orbits, but now with this fluidity controller, it's literally slightly forward and twist, and you're doing a perfect orbit.
Yeah, as opposed to the double cross finger.
Right, where you're doing the fingers in or fingers out to do your orbit.
A lot of people don't realize it, but when you're trying to do a manual orbit, there's a lot of physics behind that. I know some people that can't move their thumbs in certain positions, and this joystick to actually be able to twist it left or right and look at your subject and do a point of interest orbit as opposed to a manual one.
Well, even harder to do than that is a figure eight. And what happens with most people when they finally get the first figure eight is the first oval of the eight is fine, but the second oval you start going wide, and then as you come in, you're trying to correct again, and you're going wide again. It's not a cinematic thing; it's more of a learning to fly kind of thing. But that's the most hardest maneuver ever, in my opinion, and it becomes very, very simple to do with a FD Aviator.
Yeah. So, if I don't know if did you see anything, or have you heard of this, Billy, or this is new to you? Because if it is, I'm glad.
Billy's totally enthralled at this point.
I see.
He's watching it. He's watching the video.
He's actually gone offline to go buy it.
It's gone. It's gone right now. Hopefully he'll pop. Hopefully he'll pop back in. I don't know, but
if anybody has an extra $299, I would say you should probably buy it by the end of the day if you're at all interested.
Exactly. He was so excited she shut herself down.
Where did Justin go?
I think there's that Billy Kyle account, and there's that account his girlfriend doesn't know about.
Yo, I totally lost audio, so I had to leave the meeting real quick. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Okay.
We were just trashing the channel.
We actually had thought, Billy, that you had got off to go purchase one, and he was like, "No."
He saw it, and it's like, that's it. I'm out of here. This interview's done. I got to go get this thing.
It was incredible. Like, I'm looking at some of the different control schemes. I'm actually just looking at that promotional video they have on the front of the screen, and I tuned out, and I was like, wait, I can't hear them anymore.
That's what Kurt was saying. Kurt was like, he's totally enthralled, because we were going, Billy.
I was okay, so I was totally blown away by it, but also I couldn't hear you guys at all. So yeah, I gotta restart.
That's quite all right.
So guys, I'm gonna say I gotta go because my show starts in like.
Okay. Bye, Val.
Bye, Val.
Val, be well. Thanks for hanging with us, Val. After the show, we'll carry over to you, as usual.
I'm so happy to meet you, and so
Me too.
yeah. So what an interesting young man.
Billy, I'm gonna say Val is like our drone mom.
Yeah.
He has interviewed everyone here. So if you get an email from some woman from Idaho, it's probably her.
Perfect. Yeah.
It'll always be me.
So I hope you guys correspond, and Val, set up for your show. We'll transfer over. I do the usual thing. I eat dinner while I'm listening. But thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, Val.
So Billy, your thoughts on what you saw about that new controller?
So I think it looks awesome. My biggest thing would definitely be just framing up the shot and just learning how to continue to use the gimbal, move with the drone. I think it'd be something that you'd probably pick up within like a day of just continuous flying. But
It's a very short learning curve.
Yeah, but there's always go ahead.
The gimbal control is right on the front, so it's very easy to do. Yeah. I think the throttle is the one that most people are having a difficulty with when they first start with it. because it's your thumb and your finger, and some people's finger is stronger than their thumb, and vice versa. So they gave you two options there, and that's the one thing that's kind of throwing people just a little bit.
Yeah,
For me, I know that it's taken me a little bit to try to like get into certain scenarios and shoot with the drone. I mean, sometimes I would try to do certain shots and I would just totally mess up. Like the drone would like go high in the sky and be like, oh my God. But now I feel like I have certain things like down, certain movements down. So I'd have to just translate that over to like a joystick.
Billy, let me ask you about that. You're a 107 pilot, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much 107 oriented work do you actually get? Say like either construction or video for industry or whatever.
Definitely a lot more as of recent. I think the summertime is great just because I've had more time to accept more jobs. And also I feel like as I've developed this like base clientele, they've then referred me out, and then it's kind of been referred and referred and referred because I'm known as like a lot of these people as like the kid with a drone, because like not everybody has a drone. In fact, I got one of potentially the coolest projects that I might ever get, and that is doing a roof inspection of the Hershey Hotel, which will be coming up soon, and that is going to be so awesome. This company, they do consulting for. He's like a structural engineer, and I was doing an office building with him. It was my first job with him. I was showing him, with the Mavic 2 Zoom, I was able to zoom in on some of the stress fractures in the building, give him this good video and photo, and then he's like, hey, while you're here, can you just snap some photos of the roof? I said, sure, I'll do that. And I also ran a drone deploy mission on top just to give him like one really big image. He goes, oh, this is great. We're probably going to want to do this on our next project. I said, oh, where's that at? He said, the Hershey Hotel. So that's pretty cool.
So a lot of it is like construction oriented type work. Is that where the work is?
Yeah, and something that I recently learned, and it's something that I've been trying to do, is chase after a single company. Like I'll find their contact info, I'll send them examples, I'll say, hey, I offer these types of services. But something that I've learned just through some other sources is rather than go after one person, try to get in front of like an association. So sometimes they have like these builders associations, whether they're or commercial, whether they're residential, get up in front of those people so that rather than going after one person, you've got a bunch of these people ready at your fingertips and you can pitch services. And some of them might already use drones and some of them might not even know what they are.
Right.
Okay, that's good informative. I've always known construction is good for drones before 107 because of the mapping and actual personal interaction with construction sites. People want to see their work done.
Yeah, and it's great for those on the ground, right? I mean, especially in the beginning phases of a job where you're digging the area for the foundation, you pour the footings, you can take a photo looking straight down, you can make measurements if you want to using drone deploy, but you can make sure that everything is lining up perfectly on your site. You can even match that photo right up next to the drawings and make sure that everything is perfect.
Now, here's something that no one may have asked you, but when you first started in drones, and I know a few guys have experienced this, but when you first started in drones, did your parents just think you were playing with toys?
Yeah, actually, my dad was telling that story today because at first, when I was going into college, I had to convince my parents, I'm like, look, can you guys just let me buy this drone? I asked them. And for a solid month, it was a no. But I kept asking. Finally, they caved and they said yes. And when I brought it over to my dad's house for the first time and I put it in the air, he goes, I was not expecting that. He thought it was going to be just a little toy. And I put it in sport mode. I flew up and out. And he goes, oh my, I didn't expect that. So yeah, there was a lot of pushback from them.
Well, I'm only saying that because I've come to find that when people hear you fly a drone, the first thing they say is, oh, he plays with toys. And drones are far from toys. I mean,
it's not a toy, it's a tool.
You have your toy grade. I have this one. A guy wants me to replace a motor for, stuff like that I do for free. He's learning how to fly. So to have something like this is okay to learn how to fly with. But for most people, I come to find out. Go ahead, Herman.
I notice you get that more from your own people as opposed to people who don't know you.
Yeah, like for family support and people that you would expect to support you, like my 15-year-old daughter. I couldn't pay her $1 to get me a freaking view. And
my wife is amazed that people pay me. She's like, what?
But no,
yeah,
But here's something funny. My own daughter thinks that, oh, he's just an old man flying drones. He's making a few dollars, whatever. But her boyfriend is like, your dad's famous. I'm like, I'm not famous, but I appreciate the support more than I get from them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
No, I find it crazy too, because you can do work that might seem like fun to you, not really fun, but you're flying a drone, and being able to get paid for it is just insane. I mean, especially now with the internet and how far technology is progressing, there's so many of these different industries opening up where people are trying to find their niche outside of drones. There's all of these different things opening up now.
Well, with between them delivering body parts and stuff like that from hospital to hospital down south. I forget, where was it, Herman? In Virginia someplace?
No, that's in was it North Carolina?
Yeah, but they're actually delivering hearts and organs to hospitals fresh from an organ donor building. They can fly a drone now to a hospital and deliver a heart and implant the heart.
It's an incredible use of the technology. And I think that if things like this go right, then our own government is going to see a use case for these drones. And that's something to say, though, because if they do, then that could mean that there might potentially be even stricter rules imposed on those who are just flying for fun. Because if now we have more drones in the sky for work purposes, well, you're going to need to stay out of their way. So I don't know. It's going to be a crazy couple of years, I think, to see where this whole drone thing goes.
Here's one last question. We have like 3 minutes before we end the stream and we carry over the valves. But recently, actually in this stream, someone, Eddie Nunez, mentioned that finally they've come up with a hobbyist version of Lance that's supposed to be launching in July something, July 20 something. Did you hear anything about that? And what do you think about it?
I didn't, and I knew that they were supposed to be coming out with something. I find it crazy that they even put into place the rule that you couldn't fly in these controlled airspaces before they had something set up. I mean, I don't really know what the rush was to come to this hard date where they're like, look, as of today, you cannot fly in controlled airspace. You would think that they would have something set up first before they made that change.
Yeah, I agree, but I appreciate you popping in. My only problem is I have your number now. I got your number in. I still haven't seen any of that footage from that night. I'm not going to let you hear the end of it until I do. So if I come to Philly to see this footage, and you have to run me through a scanner to make sure I don't have any recording devices on me, I understand.
Look, man, I'm plugging in my hard drive right now for you. I'll get it to you in a couple of minutes.
But hey, Mickey, XOXO, thanks for popping in the Sunday nights with those guys. On the panel is Phantom Flight 101 Herman, Paul, Mike Roche, and Kurt, and also Billy Kyle. It's 6:58. We'll do one more drop, and I guess we're pretty close to ending this stream. Anything you want to say? Promote your show, Billy. Come on, man. I know you was on last night.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a show. Just kind of going to do some spontaneous streams. They're fun. Sometimes if I've got like a topic, I'll do something. It's funny. I forgot to mention this in that video or in that stream, but I was actually banned from live streaming for like 6 months because I got a community guideline strike on my channel. In a video, I was showing people how to get music in order for their videos, and I made this video back in like 2016. So I made this video where I showed people how to get music for their videos, and I suggested that people just download the song straight off of YouTube using a YouTube downloader, and they gave me a strike for that. So I was banned for live streaming for like 6 months, and I never really, got back on the horse after that.
Also, one last thing. Twitter's gonna get rid of Ken Adobo. He can't help himself, can he?
No, he tweets a lot.
I see that. I mean, I missed him. I missed meeting him that time. You guys came over to Jersey. I had to work that day. It was on a Saturday. I work on Saturdays, and I had to miss. But I was so pissed off because he's very entertaining on Twitter.
He's a good follow.
Yeah, he is. If you haven't followed Ken Adobo, add his account on Twitter. Seriously, every morning I wake up, it's something funny.
I know.
He's fighting himself from cursing people out and He's just a great character, and I'm mad I didn't get to meet him.
He's talking about how his wife is going to be his ex-wife if she changes the thermostat.
Yeah, stuff like that. Exactly. But anyway, I'd like to thank everyone for watching Sunday Nights with those guys. And numbers are going to start going down because everyone's transitioning over to Val's life. Billy, I appreciate it. I have your number. Trust me, we're coming soon. I have those dates.
Awesome.
I'll let you know in advance. Those guys is coming to Philadelphia. We would like to do a shoot, something over there, those guys related. And I appreciate it. Mike Roach, Herman, Paul, and Kurt, thank you guys for hanging out. And thank everyone for watching Sunday Nights with those guys.